just so cute. I love Joel.
I'm a big Joel fan. Canada loves you. Your house guests love you. Did a great job.
It's okay to be a little weird because we all have our weird quirks and stuff. And
Joel's the best. Joel, you're the winner, and I will shout loudest. Don't you worry.
Joel's a really smart guy.
Let's hear it, please, for Joel.
What's up, everyone? Joel here for another edition of Random Thoughts. Week 1 of Big Brother Canada is in the books. A lot of stuff to tackle, a lot of stuff to discuss over the first couple of episodes. We got a couple new people, some gate crashers in the house. Rosina is out of the house, and we're going to unpack everything today with the winner of Big Brother Canada, season number 5. He finally emerged out of the shadow from the Golden Bear, the great curler, the great Alberta curler, Kevin Martin, and now he is his own person. He's out of his shadow. He is finally emerged. Kevin Robert Martin. Kevin, big fan. How you doing?
Dude, Joel, that's an amazing introduction. Not many people understand curling. I loved curling growing up, and I always got to cheer for a guy with the same name as me. Our family loved Kevin Martin. We hated Glenn Howard from Ontario. Curling's a beautiful sport. More people need to give it a chance. But yeah, 2 episodes in, live feeds have been up for a while. I never used to be a live feed guy, but I watched them like 3 hours with Pew yesterday, and we actually really enjoyed them. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of good gameplay. There's a lot of bad gameplay. There's a lot of bad gameplay. I'm excited to get into it all with you, Joel. So thanks for having me on the show, buddy. Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, well, let's start from the very beginning, I guess, right when they're walking in. First off, give me your early impressions of the Big Brother Canada house guests from episode number 1.
Yeah, so the first group that we saw walk in was the 5 people. And I mean, Hamza was the first one to open the door. We know that means he's not going to win the game. The classical first one in curse. But it's funny, Hamza kind of jumped up the screen on me because everyone turned to hug each other like people normally do. And Hamza just didn't care. The dude just doesn't care. He walked in the house. He was like over the social interactions on the live feeds recently. He's very, he keeps saying he's over the kumbaya. He's over the kumbaya. He hates it. He thinks everyone's young, everyone's at summer camp. So he's definitely kind of taking one of those Adele and Pop and Paul roles on the outside of the house as basically a goofball. He's amazing entertainment. I don't think he has a very good chance to win the season. But yeah, what are some other people that jumped off to, Joel?
I mean, right off the bat, in terms of like really good first impressions, it's really hard to say from the first couple of episodes because we don't get any live feeds and everything is so fast forwarded, especially in that second episode. But from my perspective, the people that made a really good first impression, and it's not necessarily that we saw them too much, which is probably a good thing at this early stage, but Jesse definitely seemed to be sort of how I thought he was going to be in the house. Very friendly, very sociable. Erica seemed very under the radar as well. So she was somebody that I was like, okay, she's doing a really good job. In terms of, it's really hard to say. I didn't even notice Hamza doing those little subtle like hugs and not even like looking at people or anything like that. So yeah, it's hard to say from the first couple episodes, but I would say Jesse and Erica were the 2 that, just based on the episodes, I was like, okay, they seem to be doing okay for themselves. But kind of everybody is right now, except for the 1 or 2 people they showed, like, oh, Rosina did this, so she's, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
I mean, the first 2 episodes were just so cram-packed. Okay, Joel, in my mind state, can we talk about live feed spoilers, or are we still after the second episode?
You know what? There was like so little to really unpack and to understand from the first couple episodes. So let's just give a spoiler alert right now. I'm sure everybody by now who is a Big Brother Canada superfan has seen the first 2 episodes in its fast-forwarded version. So we're going to get into it. If you guys do not want to know what is going on in the live feeds, then feel free to tune in next week when I'm going to have Godfrey on the show. So let's just go straight into it. Yeah. Let's go.
Amazing.
Let's go.
So I mean, the first 2 episodes of Big Brother Canada are so cram-packed. I mean, we got the twist, we got the house introduction, we got the welcome back, thank you to the fans. Like, we really don't really know anything about anybody. We really don't. I mean, the DRs were super minimal. The interaction was, I'm finally like, okay, we've gotten the first two. I hope episode 3, 4, 5. I hope we just get to watch the house guests and their organic interactions. Just give us something about the house guests. No more twists. We're good. Okay, gate crashers. I mean, we saw Kirsten get her heart crushed, which is super sad. By the way, Kirsten got back to Calgary, and within 24 hours of her getting denied her dream, we went and got super drunk together. Like Ashley Peely, we all got super loaded. And poor girl, man, she got crushed. Joel, as a super fan, can you imagine if you went through 2 weeks of sequester, walked up and you said it's a fan vote, sorry, go home? Like, you just got to see your dream. Would rather have not been casted. And you can't even say she was casted, though. She was just a prop on the side, and she got a pre-planned biopack, and she was labeled as the devil. I would have been super salty. She actually took it very well. She had a great attitude on, but I wouldn't have been able to take it.
No, yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. I mean, it's when you do it, for me especially, it took me 3 tries to finally get on the show, and I was absolutely crushed the first time when I made it all the way to finals in season 2, so I can't imagine how that was like. But I think it's even more damaging for Mikey and for Kirsten this time, not just because they are like such huge fans of the show, and we know how long of a process it is, but even more so than that is, at least the people in season number 2, when they had the secret suite, they still technically were quote-unquote house guests. They got the experience, they got to see what was going on, and they got a little bit of airtime. These people had absolutely nothing. They just walked onto a stage and were like, all right, see you later. And that's like, even Jace and Jason Veronica weren't chosen on my season, but they also previously had the Big Brother experience. So in terms of like how crushing this is, I can't think of too many worse ways when you're like have been dreaming of this for so long. Yeah.
And on top of that, Arissa asked the other girl, Veronica, "Oh, you're a big fan?" "No, I've seen 2 seasons." Like, right. The girl across from you could not be anything more than a fan. Yeah. And then she gets voted in, you sent home, and Arissa said her name wrong too. Yeah. It's Kirsten. She said Kirsten or something. She mispronounced her name. Her dream got crushed. The girl who is like the list of it was just, man, a lot of people in the RHAB community specifically are super upset. I don't know Kirsten super well. Mm-hmm. I was crushed for her, but like a lot of her personal friends are really upset about this. And I mean, the show continues. Big Brother does what Big Brother wants to do. I don't think there's anyone at home just like loving how cruel that moment was, though. No one really enjoys that. Like Roz, I mean, we by the way, we miss out on some more Roz. Roz, if she could have stuck around, I think she would have had some great moments. But Roz got in the house. She played too calm. She had an opportunity to save herself. She got nominated. There's so many things she could have done, and it just didn't happen, right? So at least she got to play. Kirsten didn't get anything.
So from your personal opinion, since you mentioned Rosina, do you think that it was the right move for the house to get Rosina out? Because all I've been hearing on social media, and especially from past house guests, is that why would you waste it on somebody like Rosina? What is your take?
Yeah, at first, it's tough to really say. It depends on how Johnny integrated back in the group. So Johnny was the one who nominated Rosina on behalf of the house. Rosina was loud, easy out. If you stick out that first week or two, it's like, besides Karen in BBCAN5, again, props to Karen. Yeah. Karen nominated 2 guys right away, and that's never happened. There's only been 1 male in the history of Big Brother Canada to be evicted first, and that was Mark in season 5. Mm-hmm. All other 5 seasons have been girl first. So, I mean, like Barisha, and Roz, these people who just didn't fit in. So was it the right move for Johnny? I mean, based on what I've been seeing from the live feeds, Johnny's actually in a pretty good position. I was really worried about him. I thought he had a weak premiere, but he seems to be able to integrate. Johnny listens a lot. When you watch Johnny's conversation on the live feeds, he doesn't do a lot of talking, whereas Ryan, someone like Ryan, does probably 90%
all the talking.
Oh,
yeah.
My God.
So much.
Ryan,
yeah.
Here in a second. By the way, it's a disaster. Yep. Okay, but I mean, yeah, so for Roz to leave first, I'm really sad, but that's kind of Big Brother. You had 2 chances to save yourself. You had a vote. You had multiple opportunities. You just didn't make it happen. So Roz could have done more for sure. But
yeah, and I'm sad as well for Rosina. I think personally, if I'm the HOH, I get where Johnny's coming from, and I think this is probably, in my opinion, from Johnny's perspective, it's probably as good of a first HOH as one can do. And we rarely see that on Big Brother Canada, at least, is that, we saw, I think season 1, Emmett and Tom were put up first. You see a lot of big guys targeted. They don't always go home in the first week of Big Brother Canada, but it seems a little bit rarer in the early stages of Big Brother Canada that somebody who stands out like Rosina, who is maybe an easy out, gets targeted first. Do you think this is like the best? Could the HOH have gone any better for Johnny, in your opinion?
I mean, yeah, it could have gone better. First of all, for Johnny to deny the deal while during the competition. Johnny did a lot of shady things. But from what we saw in the episode, is his weak puppy strategy. I mean, he's a very self-aware dude. He talks in complete full sentences in the DR. He's very intelligent, and it seems like he has slipped back under the radar. Like going through the live feeds, and you make a list of who's targeted. Johnny's very low or in the medium of the pack. So credit to him. I thought a lot of people thought he got off to a bad start, but it seems like he's recovered and he could go a long, long way. So yeah, I mean, success. People are really upset, especially a lot of strong. I mean, a lot of people hate that a high percentage of females are going home soon, and I mean, there is an issue. I think there is an imbalance in Big Brother. I don't know what that is, but for Johnny to take an easy out like that, you got to give him credit. And I think it's the right move. But it's if he puts up someone like Hamza or another Derek, it's going to be tougher to get back under the radar.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree for sure. I think first ever time, if I remember correctly, that there was a unanimous vote in Big Brother Canada history on the very first time. I think even when Emmett was up against Kat the very first season, I think Liza threw a hinky vote somewhere around there. So that's interesting too, that there was it was a total unanimous, one way, 100%. So that was interesting.
A Nick versus wasn't a Nick a unanimous vote?
You know what? It might have been, yeah. It feels like such a long time ago, but yeah.
Canada voted out Risha over Peely, and then season 4 split season 5. Yeah, done.
Yeah, it could very well. So from your standpoint, we only really see Rosina like shouting and cheering for the girls in that HOH competition. Do you think there was anything Rosina could have said to Johnny when Johnny was like, I'm probably going to nominate you? Is there anything Rosina can do other than what she said to him to sort of diffuse the situation and convince Johnny to not put her up?
Yeah, there's multiple. First of all, she could have gone longer in the competition. It's very easy that first HOH when someone falls quickly for them to be a target. Mm-hmm. So if she could have lasted longer, maybe she could have picked up some sort of bargaining currency to keep herself safe. But it didn't happen. And then from what I saw in the episode, Johnny was rock solid. Johnny wasn't moving. Paris and Will were yelling and screaming. I thought Johnny was definitely the favorite. So when you pick your horse in the HOH competition, go on, Paris, come on, Paris. And it was loud. Yeah. I don't know whether Johnny could hear, but you can definitely hear Rosina. And when she picks a horse and that doesn't win, then she's in even more trouble. She kind of didn't navigate it with all the grace. But I don't think Roz has a lot of volume. I think that's just who she is. She brought it to the show. She brought a lot of sauce, as Andrew might say. I really enjoyed her, and I'm very, very sad that she's gone. My ears are thankful. Oh my God, dude, the shrill volume that she had on those episodes. She was just so loud. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I just think she could have, from my standpoint, when I was looking at her bio, I think she was kind of setting herself up to potentially be the first person out. And I think from her, she needed to recognize more what kind of a role she was going to be put in personally. She had to know that she was going to be one of the elderly people in there. And she was talking about she's not going to play the motherly person, and she's not going to share too much about her, who she is. And I was like, that's perfect in the first couple weeks. You want to watch out for that, I think, down the road when you get to jury time. But for her, I think she seemed really endearing. She had a great touching story, which I wish could have been told on the season, about her surviving breast cancer, and she comes from Pakistan. So that's a cool little story as well, especially when we think of Canada, right? We think of people from different cross sections. So I'm saddened in that sense that we don't get to see Rosina's sort of personal story, because I think she had a more fascinating one than some of the other house guests in there. So
Rosina joins the list of Kat, Nick, Risha, Paige, Mark, and Rosina. That's a fun list. This personality. A lot of those people I thought could have brought a lot to the show, but unfortunately didn't happen. Yeah,
for sure. So we touched on it a little bit with the Gate Crashers. You said you got to hang out with, is it Kirsten or Kirsten? I messed up. It's Kirsten. Okay. Okay.
I mean, I was pretty drunk though. I might have it. It was a fun night. It was good to see her.
Do you think, I talked about this with Cameron from BB19 when I did our preview podcast. we personally thought that it was, I don't want to say rigged kind of, but it seemed like the deck was really stacked in the favor of Marin and Veronica, and especially for Marin. For me, I thought Marin had a much better shot to get in than Mikey did. Do you think that there was any sort of a hope for the two people that didn't get in, Mikey and Kirsten?
Yeah, well, I thought Kirsten was a lock. She had a massive super fan community behind her. It's like, where did all these casual votes come from? It must have been just when you, as a casual fan, watch on television. Kirsten didn't look amazing in her biopack, and she'll admit that it wasn't the sentences didn't really string well together. The image didn't really come across. I still would have voted for her if I had no influence. I would have gone for Kirsten. I like the villain. I like the devil. I would have gone for it. I guess there's a lot of casual fans there that just like the pretty angel. By the way, Veronica on the live feed, not very angelic. She's
okay.
She was doing shots the first night in. She had a discussion about how she loves to be naked, which is amazing. Girl, do whatever you want to do. Right. I just don't think in our stereotypical roles of devil and angel that she fits. She was wearing white. Apparently Veronica has won a twerking contest on vacation as well. So I mean, girl, she owns it. I think she actually has a lot of personality. I'm excited this year. There's a lot of people who are taking their hate on Veronica because they were friends with Kirsten. Mm-hmm. She didn't ask to be in that position. I mean, if you want to take your hate out on anyone, just take it on the twist, you know?
Or just do what Kirsten did when she was threatening just to like troll everybody on Twitter. If you don't vote people in, there's enough people on there. Just have a little egg profile and then do your worst. Have like 20 different profiles and just spend your life doing that.
Okay.
So what about Mikey? Do you think there was any hope? I feel like that personally was the one that it was kind of like a lock. Marin had the swagger, had the personality, had the charm, and Mikey was kind of, I am a real estate guy. I know real estate stuff. Okay.
That one had to be a lock. I want to see the percent. That one might have been 80-20, 80%, 20%. Kirsten Veronica might have been 60-40 or 55-45 as far as we know. But I want to see some data as well. We should just publicly post the votes. With 4 million votes, Marin, you beat Mikey with 2.4. I'm a numbers guy, so I'm always interested in that. Mm-hmm. It's just not satisfying seeing the name on the tag. I'm like, well, how close was it? Was it 5 votes? Was it 100,000 votes? I always want to see the data behind the picture, but credit to them. Good luck, Marin and Veronica, and GG, Kirsten and Mikey. Tough way to go.
So obviously, Veronica and Marin are voted into the house. It's pretty much exactly like it was in Big Brother Canada Season 2. What do you think about the reason Veronica and Marin gave to the house, that they were competition winners and were going to stay in the Big Brother Canada house for as long as possible, and also had first week immunity? Was that the best excuse they could have thought of?
No, it's terrible. It's just awful. It's just so bad.
What is the right excuse?
The right excuse is just to use production as your crush, and that's something I think a lot of people are. I thought today, just say, go in the house, hello everybody, act confused. I thought today was move-in day.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to say what happened to us, but something special happened. Wink, wink, but we can't move in. It might have happened before. Maybe there were other people that didn't get in. Just, you don't want to lie. You don't want to build your base foundation, your game. First of all, you're coming in late. To have this bullshit excuse about you're a super fan and you want to contest it. Do you know the shit that you have to do to get on these reality TV shows? Joel, you know, it's a 60-page contract or something that you just, a
little more than 60 pages. I felt like it was like 400 pages.
The legality, there's no way you can go to a super fan contest and all of a sudden be on Big Brother Canada. They examine your life for months, and everyone just did this. Everyone's just gone through casting process. It's never going to work. Go in, say you're confused, say you're not allowed to say exactly, but there's something special that happened. And then you can actually base your relationship on truth and fact and start building relationships. To come up with a super fan is just, girl, they needed something better. Everything could have been better.
Yeah, I've been kind of racking my brain thinking, like, what is the right way to go about it? And the only thing that I've come up with is the way that Allison did it on her season was just like, is this, or like how Nick just walked in alone on my season, and then it was later revealed that it was part of a twist. I honestly don't see any other way that you can pull that off with other people even scratching their heads and being like, huh? What?
Just say production says I can't say, but something is obvious.
And that's the other thing too, is like I love production. We've met a lot of wonderful people that work behind the scenes with the show. Everybody there, obviously, you know, I'm very thankful, like everybody is, to have been given such a unique opportunity like this. But they already tried this this thing back in season number 2, so they had to have known that. I don't know. I just don't know why they didn't do it like they did it on our season, where we saw Canada is going to be voting in either Tim or Jace or Veronica or Nikki. It just seemed like a setup that the other house guests would be like, huh, well, what about this? And then they obviously can't say this, and then they're going to shut them down and say, stop talking about production. It was inevitable that I feel like that house meeting where that Ryan called was going to happen, and then it was going to be lots of like dancing around and like, well, you know, I can't do this and I can't say this, so I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it was interesting. I don't think they handled it great, but I think they've gotten away with it. Now in the live feeds, they've basically admitted, oh yeah, we're not allowed to say. But it was a lot of dancing for nothing. By the way, maybe we can transition to that topic. Yeah. Our boy Ryan.
Yes,
Ryan
let's do it.
Loves voice. He's got, what does he have? He's the IQ of 153. Oh my God, this guy is a casting treat. He's a delight, but I'm predicting a major flame out and burn. I thought Ryan had a great premiere. He got safety. He was put in heaven. It looked like he could get along with the guys and kind of just float into the distance. Yeah. Ryan likes to be the leader of every conversation. He likes to be the head of house meetings. These are all bad signs.
Yeah.
He loves people knowing how intelligent he is. He brings it up at every topic to opportunity, how smart he is. What form of intelligence he has, I'm not doubting, but it's not a social kind of intelligence. And I think he's really making himself into a figurehead right now. And yeah, I'm predicting an early crash and burn, Joel.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. In fact, I thought he really caught a break with the fact that it was Andrew that made the decisions to who to put in heaven and who to put in hell. And I personally... I think that I said it on my podcast with Cameron that had it been a twist like your guys' original season in season 3, I think Ryan could very well have gotten a lot of votes simply just because of his look, because he's like Rosina. He's somebody that really stood out. So I think he got a bit of a break that way. But I think he is setting himself up to be... I think he just put too much pressure on himself going into it, being like, I've got all these tools to be a supervillain and I want to be like the greatest player of all time. Like, who cares about that? Just like go in and recognize what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. Don't sort of play yourself off like you're going to be the greatest thing of all time. Sure, I guess it could be riveting for us fans to watch, but when you're in there, you need to be like, you know what, screw this. I'm just gonna do what I do best in real life and see what happens. I just think you're putting unnecessary pressure on yourself by building yourself up as much as he did. So if you want to be a mastermind, if you want to be the greatest of all time, go get it. You got one shot to make it happen. Yeah. Bring it for the DR. Bring that for the DR. He brings it in the house and he lets other people know. He was talking about on the feeds the other day about if he makes Final 2, he'll know he'll get a chance for an All-Star season, Big Brother Canada. Ryan, the show, it almost died last year. Yeah. And, dude, you're 7 days in. You're talking about a return appearance on an All-Star season to your other house guest after the show barely made it back from hiatus. It's just a criminal sin. And, dude, sell Ryan stock. If you guys have any form of the Ryan stock, I don't think it's worth a lot right now, but sell it because I bet it's going to go downhill even more. And this is coming from a guy from Calgary. I really wanted to root for him, but he's making it very difficult on the live feeds. Well, let's talk about Ryan. We've been talking about spoilers throughout this for the last little while. Ryan, as we know, is the head of household. How do you think Ryan has handled the head of household so far, having individual conversations with everybody and then nominating Hamza and Andrew for eviction? Do you think those are the right choices for him? The choice might be okay, but he just has a lot of conversations, and 80% is Ryan talking, 20% is the other house guest. He doesn't listen very well. He spills all the information. Apparently the guys kind of were wanting to get Ryan into some sort of alliance, but then Ryan spilled information to Erica
about how the guys are worried about Erica and have made the rounds. The guys are okay. We can make a fake alliance with him, but we're going to keep him distance. So he kind of already broke a relationship with Derek and Jesse. The decision is probably okay because like Hamza and Andrew are very on the outs. Apparently there's this backdoor plan coming to fruition. But
yeah.
Every conversation that Ryan is in, he sounds like the Godfather. He sounds like he's running a mob. This is just not. It's not good. This is not good in any way. And whether Ryan flames out in the next couple of weeks or he becomes a final two GOAT, I don't think he has a high chance to win the game at all.
Is there any chance that going out of this week, that whoever is HOH next week, that Ryan will be okay, or is he really high on people's radars, do you think?
I'd say he's probably medium on people's radars. Yeah, he might be okay for next week. There are some other people that the house are talking about, but just the leader of the mob mentality is probably going to catch up to him sooner or later.
Yeah. Also, one of the things that we talked about, and you kind of mentioned briefly a little bit with some of the guys and getting in with the guys, we saw the one, probably in my opinion, the worst named alliance that was advertised on the show. The Real Deal, okay,
dude, diapers, dude, that's our brand. That's my award. I was part of the Diaper Alliance, all right? Okay, no one can take that bad name alliance.
That's catchy. That's catchy and a little different though. Like Real Deal is kind of, it's just bland. It's very vanilla. Diaper kind of makes it pop out. Maybe not necessarily in a good sense, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like Real Deal is just so original. But you're a poker guy, so maybe you're into that.
Joel, you said it might be the worst alliance name of all time. Myself, Ashley, Jordan, JP, and Zach, the Diaper Alliance, we have that award on lockdown. Don't try to take that away.
I apologize. Yes. Yes. Okay. So, what's your take on that alliance of Jesse, Derek? Oh my God, I'm blanking. Jesse, Derek. Who are the other two in that alliance? Kayla and is it Paris? The four? Yeah. Yeah, what do you think of them?
I think it's great for the girls getting some sort of alliance. I think Jesse's playing really well. It makes sense. Is it going to crumble as it goes along? I feel like from what I'm seeing on the live feeds as well, there's a couple crushes developing, and a couple people have sensitive feelings. If this guy has a crush on Paris, then another guy spends time with Paris. So there's a lot of young hormones going on. And believe me, I can understand all of that. But yeah, it's very interesting. Derek and Jesse and the two girls, Paris and Kayla. I think it makes sense. They're all young. They're all similar people. It's very similar to Diaper Alliance. We were all similar age. We were all young. We just like spending time with each other. But yeah, so you have a core alliance. You got to make relationships on the outside as well. I like it.
Is there a potential that we see quite often in Big Brother Canada and even in Big Brother US when people make alliances like this so early, especially ones that are like advertised on TV, we see them crumble within a few weeks. Does this one have the potential of being maybe a brigade-like alliance that can make it all the way to the end?
Nah, I mean, the brigade type of alliance is super, super, super rare. And I think these players are really crafty that the alliance is when it benefits you. When it no longer benefits you, ditch the alliance. I love the basic game theory of alliances is really interesting to me. So alliance serves a purpose. Having an alliance helps your game, right? There comes points when having that alliance no longer helps your game. It's now detriment. Then people say you should be loyal. You have to be loyal. It's just like, no, if something is no longer benefiting your chance to win, it's time to ditch it. There's no way to hold on to it. And for me, there really is no such thing as loyalty in Big Brother. It's loyalty as long as it's helping you. I feel like I'm a very predictable player in that I will cut you if I need to and stuff. Like in season 5, if there was an opportunity for me to cut Bruno and win the game at the final 5, final 4, I would have. There's no way I would have been loyal to him at the end. And I find it always surprising when people make bad game decisions because of loyalty. And I think these players are all crafty. So I by no means predict a brigade. It's going to crack whenever these smart players seem like it's fit.
Yeah, and I think the loyalty thing is an interesting thing. Obviously, we need to have that sort of killer instinct at some point when we're playing the game. That's why I'm kind of on the fence, and I haven't maybe watched as much live feeds as I need to. That's why I'm kind of on the fence about whether Andrew and Hamza are a particular like a good nomination for Ryan. It's obviously it seems to a certain degree that he's doing what the house wants, but at the same time, I remember specifically Andrew, when he was picking his people for Heaven and Hell in the very first week, he said specifically, Ryan is my boy. There's no chance. I think Ryan was the first person that he put up in heaven. So that to me is like, well, why would you, is there an alternative one other than somebody like Andrew who, from the little we've seen on the actual edited show, seems like he's really got Ryan's back. And that's a good thing for somebody like Ryan at this stage of the game.
Mm-hmm, for sure, yeah. But I think what his thinking is that the House is so against Andrew and Hamza. But Ryan, I believe his target is a backdoor option. He really is talking about throwing the veto. He's encouraging other people to throw the veto so that either Andrew or Hamza wins it, and then he can have a backdoor option. Now he's trying to secure votes. Again, this is just a little bit too much micro organizing. He's just trying to be a little bit too controlling. I think he can let it be more organic. If Hamza goes home, if Andrew goes home, oh well, move on. But no, he's trying to micromanage the votes. He wants to get a majority and backdoor a target. So I think it's pretty clear that he's going after someone else.
Yeah, I will give him credit from what I've seen on the live feeds is that he is at least doing a little bit to try to get information from people. I don't know about the smart strategy of being like, hey, 4 weeks down the road from now, what are you going to be doing if you're HOH, if this person, because you're predicting the future and things never go according to plan when it comes to Big Brother Canada. But a lot of people are giving him some information about who they're going to target in the weeks to come, and that's valuable information for Ryan. So I will give him a little bit of credit with that.
But I don't think he hears it. He just talks.
No, that's true.
It goes over his head. He might hear a name, but he doesn't take it. He really doesn't. He just talks. He's just so excited to get in his next sentence about how intelligent he is. It's just, you got to listen to.
Yeah, absolutely. So based on the dynamics of the House right now, what we know from the live feeds, who do you think is in the best spot moving forward?
Jesse. No one is going to touch him for a while. He's got an alliance. He has nice relationships. He just listens a lot. Johnny's actually up there, which is really nice. Erica's up there. Apparently Erica has kind of gotten on the radar of some of the guys. Apparently she has a girlfriend. She's very pro-female. She's very independent. Good for you. But it has set off the radar for a couple of the guys. But she's up there as well. I think Paris has shown some vulnerability. I think Paris does lack some confidence. She's had a lot of conversations about how she doesn't think she's that beautiful and stuff. Just stuff where I don't know whether there's an act. I mean, if she's acting, it's like well done for sure, because this kind of is shrinking the idea that Paris is a big player. But Paris is still up there. Kayla and Maddie. Maddie might be my personal favorite right out of the gate. I really think that the girls are much, much stronger this season than the guys. The girls across the board, I think, have better chances of winning. Maddie, Kayla, Paris, Erica. These girls are there to play. I think a lot of the guys are very weak.
Yeah, I'm 100% the same way. In fact, my winner pick was Erica. I had Kayla just underneath that just because I think she's such a sweetheart that can downplay a bit of her ditziness and stuff, and I think she's doing a decent job of that. I think the only sort of danger right now for her is her relationship with Derek. I don't think she would be the number one target in a Derek, if Derek and Kayla eventually get targeted by people and they get sort of thrown into the showman's thing, but you never know. Derek wins a veto and we get down 4 or 5 weeks from now. Who else are you going to put up? You're going to try to maybe cripple Derek. I think that's her biggest danger right now, but that's like predicting the future 4 or 5 weeks down the road, which Ryan likes to do, and it's just, in my opinion, not a smart thing to do when you're playing Big Brother Canada, but yeah.
Joel, I gotta give you credit. You played a very underrated. First of all, you're very underrated. I think you played a great middle, not really floater, but you were constantly in the middle, not very target. You went so many weeks without getting nominated. I don't know the exact number, but you were really off people's radar all the way down to the final 6, final 5, final 4. So you should get in there and coach Ryan on how to play that kind of middle-ish, more under the radar game, because you were one of the best at it.
Yeah, you know what? It was kind of, obviously from us sitting on the sidelines as sort of the Monday morning quarterbacks, it's a lot easier when we're sitting there watching on TV, being like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" But one thing that I gathered from when I knew that there was a good chance that I was going to get in, and it's a note that I try to tell anybody who's going to be a future house guest on the show, is recognize your strengths and your weaknesses. And just because you're a fan of the show, timing is a really big thing in Big Brother Canada, and you have to know it's not as important knowing how you see yourself. It's great if you're high on yourself and you think you're good at this, and this. What's more important, and what I tried to do when I was going into the house, and what I try to give the advice I give to other people is, how do other people around you see you in your everyday life? Is it because you have glasses, you think that you're super smart, or do people see you as like, you know, the funny guy or a shy, awkward person and stuff? If you can recognize that and use that to your advantage going into the house, I think that's a huge advantage, and that's the advice I would give anybody walking into the house. Yeah.
Very well said, Mr. Joel.
Thank you so much. Let's talk about the gate crashers. Do you think, given how many twists Big Brother Canada throws at you, given how much involvement Canada usually has, whether it's picking an HOH, whether it's voting off somebody like they did with Risha and Peely, we know that there's going to be some heavy audience involvement in Big Brother Canada. Does that give people like Veronica and Marin a leg up, knowing that they already have a certain degree of popularity because they were voted in, and now it's just a question of integrating with the house? Does that give them an advantage over the other people?
I would say it's a disadvantage. I would say starting late, no matter whether you have a little more popularity. I don't think they have more popularity than the other house guests, just because they already won a vote. And in the other way, Canada might say, "Oh, we already gave these people a vote." And if power comes up in that fashion, like Sarah and Brittany twist, they might say, "Oh, we already gave Marin and Veronica a vote. Let's not vote for them again." So I think it might be a disadvantage. I don't think they're more popular. And just starting late is so tough. It seems like they've actually done a pretty good job of integrating. I think Marin is like almost fully integrated. No one's going to look at Marin for a long time, so I think Marin's playing very, very well. Even Veronica's very loud. She likes to talk a lot, but she's very charming. I would have loved to see Kirsten in there, obviously, but I think Veronica is an okay option as well. I just think starting late, seven days in, is tough no matter what. But these two have actually done very well to integrate, and I've been pretty impressed. Aside from their awful story, which was just so terrible, but they've done a pretty good job.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% behind you on that. Another one that I wanted to touch on that we haven't talked about, we haven't heard a ton from him, at least on the edited TV show, and that is Will. What are your early impressions of Will and the way that he's played?
Whenever I hear his voice on the live feeds, I do have John Party flashbacks. He sounds
It's impossible, like right? It's impossible to not think John Party when you look and hear him. Yeah.
Yeah, Will's great. He's got some alliances already. I believe he's close with Maddie and Kayla, or there's one of, and I mean, Will is just so goofy and so charismatic that I think he's actually a really, really good pick. I don't know if he's a massive fan. I don't know if he's the X factor to close out the Final Five, Final Four, and really turn on the Jets. But I think he's going to last a while. In terms of the guys, I think if I had to do quick power rankings, I think Jesse's up there. I think Will. Those are probably the two strongest guys right now. Derek is maybe fourth or fifth. Bottom of the tier, Ryan, Andrew, Hamza, sell the stock. They're in really, really bad shape. Even if they survive a couple weeks, they've already kind of ostracized a lot of relationships.
How many words can you understand that come out of Will's mouth?
Very, very few.
Yeah, I put in my notes that he's got a bit of the East Coaster sort of stereotypical Newfoundland accent, but then there's it sounds like a little hint of Irish and then like some German and stuff as well. It's a very interesting, he could like invent his own dialect. It's very interesting the way he speaks.
On top of all of that, I think he's a mumbler. I think he just mumbles a lot too, and it's just like, he already has the biggest accent ever. It's just, he just talks something like this. It's very difficult to understand. I love one of the biopacks. They actually put subtitles on it. Yeah. I thought it was hilarious. I would bet a lot of money that we're going to get some sort of subtitles from Will a lot this season on the main show.
Does Will have John Party upside in your opinion? That he downplay the whole like East Coast goofy doofy type of thing and make his way all the way to the end of this game?
Yes, absolutely. But with John didn't know the game, and that helped him. But then Netta really taught him heavily. And John, if you ever talk to John, John is very goofy, but he's a very intelligent and competitive dude. He is really, really smart, especially with like math, and he plays a lot of poker. And I'm always surprised like how good he is for how little he's played. He's always very, very surprising. And that's just because he's naturally a very intelligent dude. I don't know if Will has that clutch factor at the end that John Party had. John Party just steamrolled all the competitions at the end just to take it home. Yeah, but it's interesting if Will can find a Netta personality and really coach him up.
I was just going to ask, who do you think that could potentially be that's in the house right now?
I mean, people are making the Paris Netta.
The Vancouver, yeah, okay.
That's just because of how they look, though. Paris is not a Netta of a say. Paris actually gives me Willow from BBCAN5 flashbacks. Like, she's very energetic, she's very goofy and stuff. Yeah, maybe Kayla, maybe Maddie. Maddie is a strong thinker in there. If he can get close with Maddie and get some of that intelligence. Watch out for Maddie. I think she's really good.
If Will makes it to the end of the game, should he be allowed a translator so that he can clearly articulate what he is saying so he gets a fair chance against everyone else?
Oh man, dude, that's funny.
Should Big Brother translate everything from above?
I mean, the final two. A lot of people actually dig their holes at the final two jury questioning. You know, a lot of people bomb. Maybe we just won't be able to understand Will. Maybe that would be a good thing, but that's funny, Jill. I appreciate that humor.
Yeah, no worries. And I guess one person we haven't touched on, and somebody who could be potentially, from what we've been seeing on the live feeds, in a lot of trouble is Olivia. How does Olivia get out of this situation where she is being talked about a lot as a backdoor?
Yeah, man, Olivia is a main backdoor target. I think it was Maddie that really got in Ryan's head. Maddie got to Ryan first to go to Olivia and have a threat. And there was a clip where Ryan talked about the three girls, talked about Olivia, Erica, and Kayla. And he said, oh, Olivia's the smartest of the three. I don't know where Ryan got that. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not seeing it. I would definitely maybe put Kayla and Erica as more intelligent than Olivia. But for some reason, Ryan has this mind that Olivia is the big threat. Olivia's a big threat to his game. The backdoor plan is in full effect. Olivia, I don't know. It'll be interesting to whether people actually want to vote her out or not. I keep forgetting she's in the house. She's very, very quiet, very bland, probably, which is a great thing to be in the first couple of weeks of Big Brother. So I'm surprised she's such a major target. I have no strong feelings on Olivia whatsoever. Is
Olivia the smartest, though, for somebody like Ryan to just get like zero blood on his hands, or is like a Hamza or an Andrew and just stick to it if Ryan wins the veto?
Yeah, if he wants no blood, it's just Andrew Hamza's the right way, right? I mean, people already don't like him. If he's putting Olivia up as a strong backdoor target, I mean, Ryan's ready to bathe in blood. Ryan doesn't care, which he definitely should care more than he does.
Yeah, I think if I'm in there, I think Hamza should be the one that I would be targeting, just simply because, I mean, if I'm a fan, I don't want him to go at all. He's the one that's going to shake things up, and I want him in power to see what the hell he's going to do, because he's one of the ones that is going to make it very, very interesting. But if I'm in there and I'm in an okay spot, the people that I really do not want to be in there are the people that just are hell-bent on like blowing everybody's spot up. Because whether it's true or not, just the fact that somebody has that kind of verbal diarrhea and throws it out there is scary enough to me that I want that out of the house as soon as possible. But that's
Hamza adds such a layer of unpredictability, and it's very, very scary. It's tough to predict players. Hamza's not interested in really winning. He's verbally said multiple times he wants to make good television. He doesn't want shit to be kumbaya. He says a lot. So he's there to mesh it up, and he's almost there for the show. So as a player who wants to win, it's very tough to predict that. So I understand where you're coming from. That's a layer of unpredictability that you could very well want to get out.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. 100%. You know what? I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to touch on for the next little while. What are the chances, do you think, that Olivia is put up on the block when we see the veto in a few days' time?
Feeds are still down. Feeds are still down, so we do not know who has won the veto. The fans are outcrying to Big Brother. Turn the feeds on. Turn the feeds on. We want to see. I mean, I've been a live viewer for one day, and I understand. I was like, when they went down, what did it? Turn it back on. Let's go. So I think Olivia
give a Mitch probability factor here. What is the probability Olivia is sitting on the block when we see the live feeds come back on?
Like 85, 90%.
85, 90%. And any
Small
chance
sliver that Ryan just calms down or yeah. And I think it's a good chance that Andrew or Hamza wins the veto.
and any chance that if Olivia's sitting there on the block next to one of those guys that she can stay?
Yeah, I really think it's usually the backdoor target goes home, but this is a case where I think more people will either want Andrew or Hamza out. I would be pretty surprised if Olivia does go home, but it's again a lot is in the air. We're just from the brief live feeds that we've gotten, it's tough to really nail down exactly what's going on. So I think Olivia's in trouble, Andrew Ham's in trouble. Those are the three people that are likely to. One of them is going to leave this week.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. I'm liking the fact that there's a lot of good super fans in this season that came here to play. There's a lot of good and a lot of bad, but there's not a lot of house guests that I'm just like really dull on and think that they're super vanilla. There's a lot of good type A personalities, which we don't always see on Big Brother US or Big Brother Canada. So at the very least, I am very, very happy with that there's a lot of people that I could potentially root for or love to hate, which you love as fans. So
for sure, I'm loving on hating on Ryan right now. I think he's an amazing cast. He's really, really good. Olivia is probably the dullest. Jesse doesn't really stand off the page either, but I think he's in an amazing position. So I agree. A lot of good personalities. Joel, the season's going to be exciting. It's like Big Brother. Let's just chill the twist. Let's just watch these people interact. You got an amazing cast. Let's watch the people that Robin has chose. And I'm excited that the show is back. It's fun to talk about with you.
Yeah, but you and I know better than anybody, having been in there, and you especially having been in there for 2 seasons, that just pulling off the gas when it comes to twists is not Big Brother's thing. So it is not going to happen, and you need to play accordingly and kind of roll with the punches as best you can when you're in there. Amen.
Joel, I'm really happy not to be in there this year. 2 amazing springs of my life that I'll remember and treasure. But God, it is hard in there. I'm watching the feeds and I can see them mentally break down. I'm like, oh yes, I'm at home. I can sleep in when I want. I can talk to who I want. I don't have a microphone. I mean, I have one, but this is optional. I can have this whenever I want. It's not tied around my neck like this. It's I'm happy, my friend.
It's fun walking. It's fun walking around without the kind of stresses that you experience in there every single day. Because no matter what kind of position you're in the house, no matter if you're nominated or not, you've always got a little bit in the back of your mind that is like, oh, what about next week? What about this? What if this happens? What if a twist comes this way? So paranoia, absolutely.
Peely's in the other room over there. I don't know. I don't have to worry about whether people are trying to get her to backdoor me. Real life is easy. It's bliss. I mean, I have to do some taxes, but that's the worst stress I have to do. That's okay. I'm very blessed.
Could be worse. You got some good money in the bank to be able to afford that stuff for the next little while anyways. So on that note, we are going to wrap it up for this edition. Kevin, for people who want to find out what is going on with the great Kevin Robert Martin, how can they follow what is happening?
Yeah, my Twitch stream's the best way. All my social media is Kevin Martin Big Brother. Google all of them. You'll see Twitter. I'm very low-key on them, though. I've kind of drifted away from social media. But if you guys want to hang with me every night, I play poker online. Every night we've been crushing. 2018's off to an amazing start. My game is it's a lot of fun. I mean, we've been running really, really well. Joel, how familiar are you with poker tournaments and poker tournament terminology?
Not a heck of a lot. I Snapchatted with you several times whenever I've heard poker type stuff. I'm Facebook friends and have followed some well-known poker people, but yeah, in terms of poker terminology, I needed a guide. I'll put it this way: when I did that poker veto, when I was HOH. I would have not known what any of the hands were, except that we had a guide there to tell us, like, oh, this is a full house, this is a straight flush, this is a royal flush, and I was like, oh, okay, well then I just need like 3 of these same cards and maybe 2 of these same cards, and that's a full house. So yeah, that tells you my knowledge.
That's hilarious. It's funny that the 2 I've been on 2 of the last 3 seasons, and the 1 season I wasn't on was like a casino theme, poker theme. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, poker's a beautiful game. I work really hard on my craft. I Twitch stream 5 days a week. So I'm excited. Today is Sunday. Sunday's a huge day for online poker, big buy-ins. and I'm ready to roll. Let's play.
Beautiful. And for people who want to check me out, follow what's going on with my podcast and other happenings, you can follow me at Joel BBCAN. I'm active a little bit on Instagram as well, Joel Big Brother Canada 4, and you can hit me up on Facebook as well, Joel Lefebvre Big Brother Canada 4. So that is going to do it for this podcast. My thanks to Kevin Martin. Tune in next week, guys. Next Sunday, I will have none other than the Lady Pleaser, Godfrey Manguiza, to talk about week number 2 on Big Brother Canada 6. I'm sure there will be a lot of fantastic stuff to get through there. Godfrey, always a treat to chat with. Until then, thank you so much to everybody for tuning in, and we will talk to you again soon. Toodles.
Bye-bye.